The Christmas Truce of 1914, a moment of humanity in the trenches. It was the winter of 1914, and World War I was raging across Europe. In the midst of the brutal conflict, a remarkable and emotional event occurred that would become known as the Christmas Truce. On the Western Front, soldiers from opposing sides were entrenched in muddy, freezing trenches, separated by a no-man's land littered with barbed wire and the fallen. The bitterness of war had taken hold, and the holiday season offered little respite from the horrors of battle. As Christmas Eve approached, something extraordinary began to happen. Along the trenches, soldiers from both the Allied and Central Powers started to notice the faint sound of carols being sung in the distance. The haunting melodies of Silent Night and O Holy Night echoed across the desolate battlefield. Curiosity and a shared longing for home and peace overcame the soldiers' fear and animosity. Slowly, they began to venture out of their trenches, cautiously approaching the no-man's land. In an act of unparalleled bravery and humanity, soldiers from opposing sides met in the middle of the battlefield, in the shadow of the barbed wire that had separated them for so long. They carried small Christmas trees, candles, and makeshift gifts. Amid the flickering light of candles and lanterns, these enemies, just hours before, laid down their weapons and exchanged stories of their families, their homes, and their lives before the war. They discovered common ground in their shared experiences of fear, longing, and the hope for a better future. Some soldiers who had been deadly enemies only hours earlier now engaged in impromptu soccer matches using a tin can or a makeshift ball. Laughter and camaraderie filled the air, temporarily replacing the sounds of gunfire and artillery. One German soldier, Karl, shared a photograph of his young daughter back home with a British soldier, David. As they gazed at the image, tears welled up in both their eyes. It was a poignant reminder that despite their differences and the orders they had received, they were all fathers, sons, and brothers. Throughout that miraculous night, these men who had faced the horrors of war together celebrated a fragile yet profound peace. They sang carols, exchanged gifts of cigarettes, food, and trinkets, and even helped each other bury their fallen comrades. As dawn broke on Christmas morning, a deep sense of sorrow and understanding filled the hearts of those brave soldiers. They knew that they would soon return to their respective trenches and the brutal reality of war. Reluctantly, they parted ways, shaking hands and exchanging well wishes. Some even promised to spare each other during the fighting that would inevitably resume. The Christmas Truce of 1914 was a brief moment of humanity amidst the carnage of war. It demonstrated that, even in the darkest of times, the innate goodness and shared experiences of people can bridge divides and transcend hatred. Though the truce was short-lived, its impact endured. It served as a testament to the indomitable human spirit and the universal desire for peace. The soldiers who participated in that extraordinary event carried the memory of that Christmas with them for the rest of their lives, a reminder of a time when, against all odds, they chose compassion over conflict. The Christmas Truce of 1914 stands as a poignant and emotional chapter in history, reminding us that even in the midst of war, the human heart longs for peace, unity, and connection.